Hello, hi everyone. Yay! I mean, it's been quite some time since I think a lot of people actually saw our series. I know we've been quite quiet this few weeks actually because we've been quite busy. But yeah, welcome to our me series for to wrap up for the end of the year. This will be our we saved the best for last of 2020, right? So we have Cheryl here with me again, and we have two of our interesting guests for today. Divya, we are back
Hi.
again. Hello,
Yeah.
and our very own Christiana. Hello.
Hello, hi.
Yay! So today's topic is about power of passion and perseverance, and we're really honored to actually have Christiana here to share with us. Actually, I know Cheryl, you want to say a little bit first because I know Cheryl is going to go off after this. So for those who missed Cheryl, let's let her have a little bit of what she wants to share with us first, and then
So,
we're going to move it to Christiana
yeah.
after this.
So we're super excited to have Christiana. We met at the LinkedIn Killing It workshop, right, with Kushbu Nangalia, and we've kind of bloomed the friendship from there. And she's got a lot of interesting things to say when it comes to fitness, and I think she has a really great story to share with us today. So I won't be joining you guys today. I'm not feeling so good. So Divya will be filling in for me together with me. So very sorry,
Yeah.
Christiana, but I'll be in the background, watching you guys, and coming in and out. Yeah. So
Mm,
have fun. I will
Cheryl,
see you guys later on.
yeah.
thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
the
Thank you,
opportunity,
Cheryl.
Cheryl. Take care,
Thanks.
have
Thank
a rest.
you. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Right,
Okay.
yay. So, Christiana,
Hi.
as usual, usually how we start our series, we will usually have our honored guests to share, introduce a little bit about themselves. So, would you like to introduce a little bit about yourself to our viewers?
First of all, thank you so much for the opportunity, for being here. I feel honored and blessed, and it's been 2 to 3 months of constant, not roller coaster, but upwards and upwards, and it's so great to be here to share with you.
Oh,
I watch the show, so I know kind of the kind of people you've had on the show too. So
oh, oh,
thank you.
great. Thank
Excited.
you.
Yes, and you guys both look well.
Oh,
Um,
thanks.
so for me, where do I start?
Yeah.
Where do I start is the question. I
It's,
think you're asking me what about my fitness or about myself. Where do you want me to
mm,
start?
yeah. Maybe currently you can start off with currently what are you doing for now currently?
So really, I'm a fitness and nutrition coach
Mm,
for pre and post natal, so pre and post pregnancy for women
mm,
in their 40s. So as we know,
interesting.
women who are in the late 30s,
Yes.
career or one reason or another, they're not able
Mhm.
to start having or start preparing for family,
It's
much
true.
younger, and they're
Yeah.
doing that now. So I work
Yeah.
with women to try and either prepare them, through pre pregnancy to get them healthy, well, and really exercising, eating well, sleeping better, and also during and post pregnancy. And if you're a
Mm,
mother, you will know that once you have the baby, we tend to put on a little bit
Mhm.
of weight whilst we are pregnant. And so women
true.
come to me when they feel like, oh my goodness, I want to get this baby weight off,
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so for some of my clients, it's something that I know that they sometimes get worried about a lot. They stress about it, So part of the work I
Yes,
do with
yes.
them is actually you are you just had a miracle. You're carrying a human being inside you. Give
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
a
it's true.
break.
Yeah.
Give a break and just take your time, and you will get there. So the work I do is they're teaching them how to, sleep again with children, baby's pattern, baby not sleeping well, waking up at
Mm,
night. A lot
hmm.
of women are tired. The tiredness, and when you are tired, you can't really think straight.
True.
Sometimes some women are in pain, and when you're in pain, you really can't think straight. So it's about
Yeah.
looking at our clients very carefully, and looking at step by step how they can follow steps and taking each step small at a time to be
Hmm.
able to get some kind of normality back in their life after having children too. So
Mm,
in a nutshell, that's what I
hmm.
do. So many ways
Wow.
of doing
Mhm.
it. Client is
True.
different. No mother is the same.
Exactly.
And
It's
most
true.
clients,
Different cases all the time,
Yeah.
right? Different
Yeah.
patients
Mhm.
and different, yeah, cases
so
all the
yes,
time. Yeah. That's very interesting because yeah, I think like you said, um 40s and above. I mean, generally the age of I think after 32, it's deemed more towards like a high risk of pregnancy, right? So
Yeah,
anyone who plans to start a family after that, there seems to have a lot of worries, anxieties, especially to see about the conditions of the baby as well as the conditions of our own body health as well, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's very interesting.
lots of changes takes place, um,
Yeah.
particularly when you're in your late 30s coming into your 40s. We often, so I see clients who often talk about in their 50s, but often
Mm,
people, we tend to forget as women, late 30s and into 40s, and whilst you're in your 40s, it's such a pivotal time because
yes.
there are so many hormones. In fact, we have hormones throughout our lives, from the
Yes.
teenage days right through to your 20s, 30s, 40s. We're dealing with hormones all the time.
Yeah,
That's true.
But the
it's
moment
endless.
it's endless, exactly. But the moment changes for women who are in the late 30s to the 40s, because that is the moment when, for example, some of my clients would tell me, my consultant or my GP called me geriatric. We're seen as past it and old for motherhood. And to be honest with you, that is when all of our hormones were in between stages. So we're not quite menopausal, we're not quite premenopausal.
Mm,
It's a it's
yeah.
it's really a difficult place to be,
Mm,
for
mm,
a lot of women.
true.
Because
Mhm.
again, then with adding the lifestyle, this is another thing
Yeah,
I
especially I think the mental health part is also very
absolutely,
important, correct?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely,
definitely.
and I think
Isn't
that
it? I think I read somewhere in an article that says that usually later pregnancy, women of later age pregnancy will bound to have postnatal depression. The
postpartum,
the yeah
yeah,
postmortem depression seems to
Mm-hmm.
be a bit
Mm-hmm.
higher chances of getting it, right?
Yeah.
yes, that
Ah,
that is something that really, again, with my clients, concerns them a lot. They worry about that, and my thing
yeah.
that is, again, preparing clients for pre-pregnancy is looking at
Hmm.
all the things that perhaps your hormones and the things that we can look at to not to prevent it, because sometimes you can't prevent it, but
Yeah.
doing activities,
Mm-hmm.
exercise is one that we can do.
Mm,
you know
mm,
Think of an exercise, find a group. I encourage my clients, to actually find a group, as well as the exercise and the work that I do with them, to ensure
mm,
that your mindset, because it's all about mindset.
yeah.
It's all about mindset. It's all about really understanding as well your own body. A lot of women struggle with understanding, how to communicate with their bodies,
True.
and
That's
so
very
Mm-hmm.
true.
Mm-hmm.
understanding
Yeah.
your moods, understanding what that mood means, and really
Hmm.
having to regularly check in with yourself. I think that's so
Mm,
important, because
mm,
often as women, some of us are busy, we're entrepreneurs, we are, moms, as well as business women, employers, and so on and so forth. That's especially in this time as well, when we've had lockdown. Lockdown
yeah.
itself is very stressful and has been very stressful for a lot of people,
Yes.
all over
Yes.
the world.
Yes.
So it's that thing of, you're looking at the mental part of it and you're thinking, oh my goodness, I'm alone, I'm isolated. And when you
True.
have a child, for example, if it's your first child, a lot of
Yes.
people don't know what to do,
Correct.
sets in, particularly now when people are having children in this lockdown, and it's isolation. You really got to think about, what networks do I have around me? How do I surround myself with people that can support me through this process, as well as doing
Mm,
exercising, sleeping well, breathing. All these things are the
yeah.
things that I speak to my clients about,
Yeah.
through
Well,
that process.
true, true. I think that's very interesting, especially like you say, current times, right? They feel actually they need more people to be supportive, and then when they feel like nobody is around there for them, they do feel a bit more anxious about it. But okay, what else? The interesting thing that I heard, I think, is that your method, of guiding this whole holistic way of handling your clients is actually using very traditional methods, isn't it? What are some of the traditional methods that you actually apply for it?
I think for me, it's really looking at, okay, so I speak about my five health steps to healthy mind, body,
Yeah,
and soul.
yeah.
And for me, it's really just, the first thing is gratitude. You know,
Mm,
being
mm-hmm,
grateful, listening. You wake up in the morning, and I was on the show, on another show recently, on the Linkpreneur show, and I talked about, in that show, I talked about, really, for me personally, what I do, and I use that for with my clients too. So it's about
mm,
gratitude. It's about getting up and feeling grateful, breathing, and meditating and praying. You know,
Mm.
women who are going through pregnancy and even during pregnancy before you give
Yeah.
birth,
Yeah.
they teach you how to breathe. It's like
Yes. I've heard about the breathing methods that they actually have to learn, correct?
in terms of being able to breathe and use
Yeah,
that as part of, you know, you not just giving birth, but relaxing the mind and the body.
that's
So
true.
do what you
Mm-hmm.
do. So holistically, I look at my clients, you know, for example, my clients looking at food and so on and so forth. I'm looking at, this might sound disgusting to people, but I look at their food, their eating habits. I look at, you know, things like their bowel movements.
Yeah, but I do know because when in pregnancy, right, one of the things they do encounter is constipation actually. So
Exactly.
that's why they need to consume a lot of fiber in them actually, right? See, I know
Mm-hmm.
stuff, okay? I know stuff, Divya. I know stuff, okay? I do my homework, okay?
So it's about that. It's about really doing simple, practical things, you know,
Mm,
that traditionally we don't really think about. But this is something that women have been doing for centuries of giving birth.
yeah, yeah,
And it's not
Mm-hmm.
about going into digital thing and yes, it's nice to have an app to teach you things. But
true.
I look at the simplest basic way, the traditional way of doing things, you know, making sure that you're eating well. What are we eating? Are we eating,
Yeah.
especially for pregnant women dealing with hormones?
Mm,
You know, we look
yes.
at our micronutrients, which are things like your magnesium, selenium that you need for the body to, you know, to function. And
Mm-hmm.
are really the food that they're eating. You know, so I
Mm-hmm.
think for me, it's simple things like helping women to look at really their whole. For example, one of my clients, what I did with her was I did a whole program in one day. She kept saying to me, I have no time to exercise. I have no time to do. I have 3 children. And we sat down and we created an actual timetable, a plan for her. And
Mm.
through doing that, we discovered that she had 2 hours a day. And we
Oh,
had to say to her, you can have an hour in the morning, an hour, you know, late evening, for you to
true,
kind of
true.
relax and do other things and eat well and plan. It's about really planning. So I work with
True, true.
clients to really plan, you know,
Yes,
one, the
true.
pregnancy, two, after birth, you know.
I also find it very interesting. I need to share as well because I used to see like some of my colleagues that was pregnant at that time, right? It's like you're saying that you have no time, but I noticed that when she was pregnant that time, one of the requirement is like the doctor expected her to consume more fiber. So what she did was while she was working, she literally like have a box like a whole container of apples and oranges and stuff. And every time she was working, she's just chewing and chewing and munching and munching. It's like, oh, this is so interesting. It's like, I mean, it's like I need to have more fiber. And she keep eating. I was like, oh, I found out that. Oh, okay.
But it's true. I think it's about planning your meal. It's about knowing what you eat. Like I mentioned earlier on, it's how you communicate with the body. So when we sleep, we're communicating with our body. You know,
Yeah,
allowing it to rest, to rejuvenate, to give you the energy. When we eat, it's a communication. You know, when we
yeah,
look at our hydration, we communicate with the body. And for
yeah.
me, it's so simple. It sounds kind of simplistic, but you'd be amazed at how many people who don't practice this. Because
Mm.
then life
Yeah,
gets
something that's too. I mean, it's something too usual that people doesn't really take notice about it or take concern about it. I think that's why they tend to forget about the importance of it. Actually,
it's too I think it's too simple. Maybe I think
yeah,
the point where we expect something that is so complex because our lives have become so complex that we
yes,
forget the simplest things that we need to do,
that's
you know, like breathing, for example. And I will talk about breathing in a moment, about my own personal story and how I use breathing and
mm.
praying and meditating to be able to persevere and get on with life ultimately.
Oh, yeah, yes. Let's talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that. Yes,
yeah,
do
yeah,
share, do
exactly.
share, do share. I mean,
So,
one of the part of the topic, yeah, like Divya, yes, you want to ask?
yes, definitely. So, like, Christina did tell us that, she used meditation and breathing, that you had your own experience. So, I think, like, um, we definitely want to hear what you have to share. So, let's just jump into that, shall we?
Do share
Yeah.
about because the part about the perseverance part of it, right? So do share
Mhm.
with us about your past story. I think
Yeah,
a lot of people wants to know how to get where you get right now, actually.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
I think just to let you guys know, it's crackling a little bit. I'm not sure if you can hear that crackling, but on my end, it is crackling.
I'm
Yes.
hearing it as well, actually.
Can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Is it mine? Is it mine? Maybe it's not. I try muting my mic. Let's see first. Okay.
All right.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Good.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, so I think my story begins with the first thing, and the reason why I'm into fitness. I've always been into fitness and nutrition and working out, and from school, from young age. Because any sports that was going, I was always involved in sports, cross country running, and exercising during uni, college, and you name it. I would take part in any activities going. I think I was a sports junkie. Is the right word.
Wow. Okay.
I did a lot of representing my school and college and things in different sports, and so for me it was something that I loved doing.
Christiana, I think she is getting a bit delayed in terms of connection wise, is it? Oh, she got into this. She's back.
Football, playing different games. Can you guys hear me?
Yay, you're back. Yeah.
Back. You disappeared for
Yes.
a moment.
We lost you for a minute.
Anyway, so I always loved sports, and I always liked taking part in different sports activities. And I went through school, went through college. Whilst I was college, it was great. I went to university. And even though I loved exercise and even though I loved taking part, during my university, I studied law instead of sports. I don't know why. So
Wow. Okay. Law.
I went to university to study law and also went to law school and pursued a legal career. but
It's like yeah.
sorry?
That's like entirely a different range of aspects here,
Absolutely. But during my university days, I remember during lectures, I used to talk about, give advice to guys and girls and, different people about exercise, what to eat, what program to do, how to kind of eat after workouts and so on and so forth. But what people didn't know, and I think this is probably the first time I'm saying this in the public domain, I was struggling towards my final year. My grandfather passed away.
Oh.
And that really hit me like a ton of bricks. And I had to travel out, to Africa, because I'm currently in the UK, right? I had to travel out to Africa for his funeral. And I was out there. This is during my final year of university. So
Yeah.
to juggle your final year of university, going back, to visit, and I was back, I think, for 12 years at this time. And it was a lot of school. And what people didn't know is that during my university period, the stages that I had, I was suffering migraines. And I go to my doctors and no, you're a student, it's just stress, go and relax, find something to do, you'll be fine.
This is the exact thing I get my doctors telling me when I'm down with migraines like every week.
And medication, and I'm someone for medication personally, and I'll put that later on too. So for me, something that I really wanted to really kind of find out how do I, it was awful because whilst I was out there, the heat and everything made it worse. And when I came back from back to the UK, I really started to really struggle with my migraine. I was having migraines almost 7 days a week. I've been to my GP 7 times in the end when I counted, complaining about the same thing.
Yeah.
And imagine when you're in pain for example, one hour or 2 hours, people tend to it's really painful. But mine was 7 days a week,
Wow.
So I started to look into
That's really bad.
my diet, on reflection, I can honestly say, I don't know how I finished my final year, my degree.
It would be very impressive for you to actually go through the pain and still finishing it,
Exactly.
I think it all became a blur at some point, thinking back now. And it's like, how on earth did I complete that? But the seriousness was, it forced me to really look at my diet, and really be very careful and specific, Because I always loved fitness. I'm someone who was always fluctuated in weight between half a stone, so from muscle put into losing muscle and so on and so forth. I looked the same for about 20 years or more, because it's something that I'm conscious about.
Yeah.
So I really had to take it upon myself to find a way through food, and nutrition, and again, sometimes could trigger
Did
my.
you actually figure out what was the cause that causes the migraine? Really, is it really stress or what?
It's a
Yeah.
combination. There is no. Do you know? Every single person is so different. It changes from person to person again.
Yeah.
So there were a combination of things. For me, what I had to do was look closely at all combinations. What was I doing that was helpful? Am I implementing a proper rest time? When you're a student, I mean, I used to pull all-nighters as a student. Bad practice. But
There, you can refer to the person next to you. There, that one over there. All-nighter is like, it's like her daily thing, I guess. Please take note, and then you see her migraine. Please listen to what she has to say, right?
But also, not only was I doing that, I was also working full time at uni. So I was working from 8 o'clock in the evening till 6 in the morning, right? And that was throughout my university degree.
Wow.
And it was something that people, I think I took it for granted. I think when you're young, you are doing things, you take it, you feel
You think that your body can push to the extreme level, right? You're saying, it's okay if I don't sleep for 2 nights. I mean, I think it's still possible, you know? Yeah, I get that. I understand
I
that.
feel attacked right now, but okay.
I would say stop doing that. But you do feel invincible. You feel I can take this on, and also it was that thing of I never said no to people. I was someone who really had to learn to say no.
Yeah,
So, and the migraines, I had to look at my diet. I had to look at not putting stress on myself. I had to look what was I doing, reassess, and to look closely, and in a way keep a journal as well, in terms of having to look at how do I change this, how do I really put this under control, because I'd gone in the end. I had to go to my consultant, who said to me, you're not really allowing much oxygen to your brain. You need to allow oxygen to your brain. And that was one of my triggers, and certain foods. And I had to really look at my diet and say, actually, this is madness, So throughout going through university law school and practicing, I said to myself, I will try and ensure that I keep active, but it's controlling how active and what exercise and what I do, And then I left law to go into fitness. And that was great. That was fun, and I continued with my exercise. And when I first started, I started to teach. When you're feeling better, you're feeling well, you forget your experience. I forget your experience with your migraine. So I started to teach a lot of classes. I did aerobics. I did all kinds of bumps, tums, boot camps, training. I was probably about 32 classes a week.
Wow. My God.
Wow, that's crazy. That's like extreme sports.
Averaging about 3,000 calories a day.
That was definitely something that I cannot relate to, that's for sure.
And I remember thinking, okay, this is great. I was having fun. But unfortunately, in 2012, I suffered a car accident.
Oh, no.
And my car accident was something that really taught me so much at the same time. Got me the clients that I work with now, as well as previously working with older clients, have joint pain problems and restrictions. And for me, that accident took my hip out of socket. It took me 2 surgeries to have my hip out of and I did all of that without any painkillers. And throughout my migraine, my migraines, there was no painkillers in place. I had to learn how to breathe,
manage the pain,
and manage the pain. And pain management focusing because I don't take medication, and because mainly because I'm actually I have a high intolerance or allergy to medication as well.
Oh.
So, which I discovered on the operating table.
What? You didn't know you have allergy to some medications, and you only found out when you're in. Oh my goodness!
I'd never taken medication, before.
Yeah.
What was that allergy to the medication? The painkiller.
Painkillers for me, if I do painkillers, I have an instant swell. So it bloats me. I have a
same.
Stomach,
I have that as well.
Stomach ache and nausea. So it's vomiting. And so
Mhm.
I went through this, and I remember thinking, oh my goodness, why has this accident happened? I believe for
Yeah.
me, what leads me is my faith. You know,
Yeah.
I'm someone
Mhm.
who comes from a faith and a spiritual background. And
Mm.
Mhm.
things throughout my life, I always pray. I always say, God, this is what's happening. You know, see me through this, or give me the wisdom and the strength
Yeah.
to be able to deal with this. And I
Yeah.
think at the time, praying about it, what came to me was, you just, this is my time of telling you to slow down. Because remember,
Yes, actually it is, right?
30
Yeah.
months, you know, back in the day, you were doing too much, and here you are again doing too much. So you need to slow down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I really got to understand, you know, and bearing in mind that with my accident, I couldn't sleep on I couldn't sleep on my left side. I couldn't sleep, you know, for 3 years I was in pain. I was
Oh
getting
gosh.
2 to 3 hours sleep per night.
Oh my goodness.
Most people are in pain for probably a day or even half a day,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
feel the pain because it's horrendous. I've
Mm.
been attending physio for about 30 months at this point, and nothing worked for me. You know, I was coming back from my physio in pain, inflamed, you know,
Yeah.
feeling quite tense.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so I fired all my physiotherapists.
And you decided to go figure it out yourself, isn't it? Is that
I did. And the thing that when you listen to people think you're crazy, how could you? But I think sometimes you really have to come away, become the outsider, and look in, you know, into
Mm.
your own life and recovery journey. And I think that,
Yes.
you know, it's so important. And like I said, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I couldn't go out to dinner, I couldn't spend time with family and friends.
Yeah.
I couldn't spend time with my family, with my husband, and with, you know, I couldn't do. I took for, you know, it taught me that I took for granted a lot of the
Mhm.
things
Mhm.
that we take for granted, like going out to dinner
Yes.
and sitting down for an
True.
hour, 2 hours with friends and family.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could no longer do that. You know,
Yes.
I could no longer stand. My balance was gone on one
Mm.
Mhm.
point where my right leg supported me to the point that my own right leg became something that was questionable because it was always
Mhm.
Yeah.
supporting the left side.
Yeah. Because the pain of the left, that's why you
Because the
put the
pain,
pressure
Yeah.
on the right. Yeah. Yeah.
but then
Yeah.
you had to develop pain on the other side too.
Yes, exactly. So that, yeah, you made that worse from the other side.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's learning about balance. So again, with what I do with my clients, is teach them balance. When you're pregnant, you're prone to falling because of the weight you're carrying, if you're not strong enough, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Mhm.
And so going through that process, not being able to sleep for 2 to 3 hours, I was able to come away from physiotherapist and started to work on my own recovery. And that
Mm.
asked the question like, how have you done this? Like, what have you done? You know,
Yeah.
what methods have you used? Like, you know, what we've seen this. And some of my clients back then were older clients who were going through joint pains, who were, you know, suffering really and
Yeah.
struggling with mobility. You know,
Yeah.
and range of movements were restricted. So I then had to explain to them, and that became something that the client group I work with now. So through pain, what pain taught me, what that period taught me was patience.
Mhm.
You know, being patient with yourself. You know,
Uh,
and not rushing around like a headless chicken, and really
True.
giving gratitude.
Yeah.
I got to a point also where I would get into my vehicle to try and
Mhm.
drive. I would drive, and by the
Mhm.
time I got back home, I couldn't get my
Mhm.
vehicle because my hip was stuck. And it took having to get my husband to come and carry me literally out of the car,
Oh my gosh.
bring me into the house.
Oh.
Mhm.
And that is something that taught me the beauty of breathing, because I had to really
Mm.
look into myself and find that strength.
Mhm.
You
Mm.
find strength. Everything we have has been given to us. We
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
dig deeper
True.
each time, dig deeper
Yeah.
and deeper and
To
deeper.
understand your own body,
Understand
basically.
your body. And that's
Yeah.
what I say. I help
Yeah.
people communicate with their own bodies, to help them to
Mm.
understand their own bodies. You know,
Mm.
how are you doing what you are doing? Are you listening? Okay, as human
True.
Yeah.
beings, we're not very good at listening to our body. Our body is good at telling us
Yeah.
what we need, but we're not good at listening. And so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to start listening to my body when it said,
Yeah.
I need to sleep, I need to
Yeah.
stretch, you know, I need to
Yeah.
eat now, I need to
Yeah.
kind of, and sometimes we tend to confuse eating with food with hydration. So
Mhm. Mhm.
and for me, it was continuous hydrating myself and hydrating my body to
Mhm.
Mhm.
ensure that you know, the stretches I was doing and the breathing I was doing worked in harmony with my body, and to get me on my recovery a lot faster than 3
What
years.
is that? What is that food with hydration? What is that?
Yeah.
It means food that contains water in
Or
the
is it like separating water and then food? Oh, okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So
food and hydration.
sometimes when you are hungry,
Mm.
when you're thirsty, people tend to
Mm-hmm.
confuse, thirst with hunger, and so they eat and eat and eat. Whereas
Uh-huh.
sometimes it's just your body saying to you, "I need to be hydrated." That
Oh.
it's that thing of when do you hydrate? When do you
Oh.
Okay.
So that means you feel hungry, but actually your body is telling you that actually you are thirsty.
yes.
So you thought that you're actually supposed to be consuming water, but you thought that you're supposed to consume food.
Food. Is
Oh.
that why I've gained so much weight? Okay, we need to look into that.
I kind of have to think about that as well, because usually I'm like, when you're
Okay,
stuck
I'm
at home
hungry.
and then I was doing work and then you get bored and then you start, I think I need to munch something.
Yeah,
You have that
yeah,
tendency to
exactly,
munch
exactly.
kind of thing. So probably that wasn't the your body telling you that you want to munch something. It's actually probably your body telling you need to drink
You're
actually.
like, yes,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah. My mind goes like, look, your mouth has been quiet for way too long. You have to do something. It has to go do something. So it's like, okay.
Excited.
Interesting, interesting. Okay, I think we have a question previously that they have displayed here about Fiona, who was mentioning that she had menstrual migraines and she found that changing her diet, her exercise, and iron tablets actually helped. Which actually I wanted to highlight something about that
Yeah.
question as well. I mean,
Mhm.
I've had few of my family members, as well as friends who especially women, I would say, suffers
Mhm.
from menstrual pain, and sometimes they will have other symptoms like migraines together with back aches and stuff like that. What
Mhm.
kind of suggestion remedy would you actually advise for these people?
This is gonna sound really crazy. I think the first thing is look at getting some hot water inside you, some warm water inside you.
Warm water, okay.
To
This is before the menstrual cycle or during the menstrual cycle?
That'll be during your
During. Okay.
cycle, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Or look at ways to really relax the body. You know,
Ah,
look at getting yourself in a relaxed position, because sometimes when we
okay.
have tense and stress, it
Yes.
does it does contribute to the pain
Yes.
that we feel. And I
Yes.
think,
Mhm.
but then again, there's no one single simple
Yeah,
way,
that's true.
because
Yeah.
again, each
Yeah.
woman is different.
Yes. Yeah.
I can
True.
speak through the clients I've worked with, the things they tell me, and my own personal way of dealing with premenstruals is really getting yourself relaxed, really getting yourself in a place, because when we are tense, the
Mm-mm.
hormones and the body tends to do so many different things. And so
Mm-mm.
my first point is, if you, as women, we should know our bodies very well, and if you do know your body very well, you
Mm-hmm.
get to
Mhm.
know the symptoms. Some people
Mm-mm.
have hormones that they are quite intense just before
Mm.
periods.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Where you have the breakouts and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, I know.
Exactly. So looking at keeping hydrated,
Mm.
when you are, and making sure that you have the right supplements, I guess, in terms of, for example, Fiona mentioned iron. That's a good one, because
Yes.
that helps
Mhm.
your blood, really, and it helps to regulate, your blood, and it gives you your iron tablets, for example, makes you
Mm.
stronger, as you know.
Yeah.
It helps
Mhm.
you for your blood to really pump and to
Yes.
circulate,
Yeah.
ultimately. So, but during your period, I would say, to
Yeah.
menstrual cycle, try and do things that allow you to relax the body.
Mm.
What you are eating as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to have a little bit of dark chocolate, but
Mm, 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 mm.
to do it.
Speaking speaking about chocolates, right? Like, I think it's a very well-known myth where people say, okay, so you're like on your menstrual cycle, so you have a lot of cravings,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah, cravings, cravings, yes.
and people say like, like personally, like fried food, salty
Mm,
food and all of that. So there
mm,
was once
mm.
that I came across this article. I was just reading through. They said like, your cravings are going to make your pain worse and all of that.
Oh,
So I was like, what? So maybe like we also can, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's definitely signs of cravings. Like for me personally, usually if I have before, the symptoms before my menstrual cycle comes, I usually have cravings for cold drinks. So currently, my current cravings for, before my menstrual is I have cravings for bubble tea, like serious madness of bubble tea. It's like every day I'll be thinking, I think I need to grab bubble tea. I really need to grab bubble tea. Like seriously, that kind. So I know that it's coming soon. So that's why I kind of sense like, okay,
Yeah,
this is a
yeah.
sign that it's coming. So I'm stopping
It's
myself
like,
from it.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
yeah. It's
stopping myself from it. But there is that kind of craving.
for me, it's like, okay, so I need the fried chicken from McD, the spicy one, and then
The fried chicken, yes.
I'm like, why do I feel like I need pizza? Like, why? And then like, oh, okay, it's
Yeah.
time.
So usually the cravings is the sign to say that your menstrual cycle is coming up.
I
But I think, yeah.
hear you guys. It's crackling again. I can't really.
Oh,
I'm struggling to hear you a little bit. Okay. Hello.
okay. Is it better? Yeah.
No. It's
Oh,
crack.
yeah. Someone's. Let me try muting mine first and see.
Hello. Yes. That's
So it
better.
should be
Thank you.
mine that's making the cracking sound, I think. So I will mute
Yeah,
mine on and off. If I'm not speaking, I'll be muting mine, I guess.
all right. Okay.
So I can see that Fiona has put a message on here.
Yeah,
Bless.
she said, thank you for
But,
the advice.
hello.
Yeah, that's what usually doctors do. If you go seek a doctor, they usually just prescribe to you painkillers to get through it. So for my case, like I said, I have allergy to painkiller, and I'll try not to take it if there's pain. So that's why painkiller doesn't work for me. So I mean, my remedy for it is usually, like you say, the advice of taking warm water. And I got so used to the whole regime of drinking warm water, to the extent that it's a regular thing before or after or during menstrual, I just take warm water. I will usually ask or opt for the options of warm water instead of cold water. So that is actually part of my remedy, which I think it helps lah for me.
That's great. That's really, really great to hear. And I think it's like I said, it's every person, every woman is so different. What works for one,
Yeah, yeah,
but these are the types of things that you could do and being relaxed and less tense.
Mhm.
Find
mm,
a relaxed, environment. Especially people now we're working from home. There is no
Yeah,
separation with work and home for some people. Some are very
yeah,
happy with spaces to work in, and that in itself tends to create a lot of tension around because
yeah.
there's no escape. You're working from home, you're at home.
It's stuck. It's a stuck in the four walls. Yeah.
Honestly, for me, my garden became my gym when my gym was closed during lockdown. So I worked out for my garden. I decided to put a mini studio down at home here where I work out in when the gym opened again. Although that being said, I'm an outdoor instructor by nature because I prefer to work outside. I really prefer the fresh air and just how your lungs feel cleared and open and
Yeah.
relaxed. Your endorphins are working and
Yes.
something. So for me, definitely,
yeah.
it's
Mhm.
great to work from. And some of my exercises I like to do, if there's one thing I could do, one exercise, would be a plank against the wall. So a floating plank.
Plank against the wall. Sorry, what plank? You mean like the doing the push up with on against the wall?
So your feet against the wall. So you're standing upside down on plank against the wall.
Oh, okay. That's definitely something I cannot achieve.
I can't even do the traditional plank. What else me is standing up and like I'm
But given
scared.
given that she's the fitness guru, I think she can do
Yeah,
it
of
lah. I
course.
I
Yeah,
trust that lah. But that
definitely.
would definitely be something that it doesn't apply to me lah.
But it's okay. I want to show you how. It takes practice, but you definitely
Yeah.
anyone can can do it so long as you put the work in.
True, true. Agree. I agree to it. It's definitely take
Yeah.
practice to
So,
actually
so
achieve it. That is true.
yeah, exactly. Christina, I have a very interesting question for you here.
Mm,
So, like,
yes.
we're talking about exercises, and you're
Mm-hmm.
doing that plank against the wall. If there was one exercise or a workout routine that could sum up who you are and what like who you are and something that describes you, what would it be?
What's your signature?
Yeah.
Oh my God, my signature workout. Right, I would say not workout, not one exercise, but probably three exercises. I've just listed one of them. That's been the wall plank. Okay,
Mm-mm.
one for me is skipping. And
Skipping.
skipping,
Skipping.
jump rope, skipping.
Oh, okay.
But don't try it if you have knee issues. There are other things you can do with any kind of knee or joint issues. Obviously, I've learned, and through my accident, I really had to learn to do different things and put my body through certain things for recovery.
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of now skip on one leg on my left side and right side and so on and so forth. But something I've
Okay.
doing. Well, skipping on one leg, yes. Also, boxing. So I do when I get into the gym or work out in the park where I go, I tend to do my boxing gloves. So you find skipping rope or boxing gloves with me all the time.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay.
Boxing and
Interesting.
skipping and the wall plank thing, right?
Yeah. I think the one thing that I would carry on, I mean, like saying that, one thing that I would love to do is definitely boxing because it really lets out a lot of pent up anger and like all the frustrations you have. It's
It's great. So
yeah.
the reason I love skipping is because with skipping you can literally lose over 115 calories in 10 minutes. Just 10
Wow.
minutes.
Just
So,
skipping.
yes. So
Just
Wait, what kind of skipping first? Because I've seen, the boxers kind of skipping seems to be the relatively fast and speed wise, but it's a little bit of small.
I can't hear you guys. Sorry.
Hello, hello, can you hear?
Just about. Still a bit of crackling, but it would. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So yes, so with skipping, you get to lose a lot of calories. With
Yeah.
skipping.
So my question is, the skipping, is it like the boxer style of skipping where they have faster speed, but it's a slow. It's a more of a tapping kind of skip. Is that the kind of skipping you're referring to?
Yes, so I do that, but I do other types of skipping too. So you can again, it depends on the individual and how comfortable. So if you're a beginner, I would say take your time, go as slow, and then build up a pace. So the pace you should be thinking of is you can skip whilst you speak. Okay.
oh
If you find that you are out of breath very quickly, slow it down and control that movement and take it nice and steady at a steady pace. But for me, fast skipping too, whilst you speak, is great. It's great to decide. I enjoy that. So it's something I've done from childhood, and
Yeah.
it just remained with me into my adulthood.
Yeah, I mean, as a child, I love skipping as well, but
Yeah.
I stopped it for a very long time because, but like you say, it could be due for those who have knee issues. We need to be careful with skipping, right?
yeah, yeah. There's also some myths that goes around skipping and women skipping, especially they say it's not good for you and all of that. Christiana, do you have anything to say about that? They tend to say that sometimes the
I've heard
the
before they
room.
say that for skipping for women it's not too good, especially if for their productive system.
Yeah, yeah,
Apparently,
yeah,
is
yeah.
that
It's
true?
not good and all of that.
So again, like I said, each person is different. Without knowing each person's medical condition or conditions, I always advise that if you're going to skip, because let's think about it, we have female boxers ultimately, and they use skipping techniques, and they still go on to have children. So it depends on people's medical conditions or history, and what I tend to work with my clients individually, looking at those types of things and making sure we are doing our exercise in a safe way. So yes, there's a lot of opinions out there
Yeah.
this particular exercise, but it depends on who you are and the person that you are. So again, you can start your skipping down, or you can do something else. You can kind of improvise without using the skipping rope, and still make the same kind of exercise, but on a gentle move, which allows you to be able to get that cardio, get that workout, moving. The same thing, one could argue the same thing about going for a run. So it's all about,
true. I've heard as well running as well, actually. Yeah.
exactly. So it's all about the motion and literally the vibrations that we put the body through as a skipping run. So each individual woman is different to the next. For example, over here we've got you in the UK, we have, I don't know if you've ever heard of Paula Radcliffe, and she's a marathon runner. And she's been running for so many years and still wanted to have a run. Now, I don't know her medical history, but there's so many women that have done that, achieved, their workouts and still have children. So
yeah. But is this? I mean, there's some how do you say? People who believes as well that usually if you are a very athletic person or you are a very sporty person, that means you tend to do sport a lot, you tend to actually have a easier pregnancy and easier of delivery of is that true?
it helps. I would say that it does help, because it means that your body does what it needs to do. For example, your laboring time between 12 to 15 hours for some women. So other women who don't be in labor for 36 hours. So it contributes to you being able to give a swift, and a steady birth. But again, each person is different. There are no
Different.
It depends on your body, who you are, and different factors affect that. But yes, exercise help to actually, give birth. Some of my clients now who've learned exercise and breathe, it allows them to, allows you to dilate, So it's one of those things where the individual person carries different things, and different factors affect different pregnancies.
Interesting.
So, Christina, previously you shared with us how your accident changed a lot of things for you. Yeah, and I believe that was
Sorry, there's a crack in it. Can you repeat the question, Divya? Sorry.
yeah. Okay. So wait, is it still crackling? Okay, I think I'll just go on with the question. Hope you can hear me. So, previously you shared about that one pivotal moment in your life where the accident changed a lot of things for you. So, how did it change? How did your passion for fitness and staying healthy fuel your perseverance
Goodness.
during that tough moment?
How did it feel my present client, my present work? Is that what you're asking? I think for me, like I said, going through what I went through in terms of my fitness and my accident. So what that brought to me was understanding, and I think it's important when you've been through something, when you're in pain, you have a realization. I had a realization is if I'm going through this pain, which is quite a significant joint pain that's stopping me from sleeping, stopping me from doing things and having a normal life, there's got to be other people that are going through what I'm going through who have joint pains, who don't really understand how to really, recover, or they've been to, for example, one of the clients some of the clients I've worked with, I've been given medication, so what medication sometimes does is it does really help to soothe your pain, but it doesn't get to the root cause of the pain, if that makes sense. So for me, my accident was about understanding the root cause of this and finding ways to be able to keep my hip healthy. And by doing so, for my hip to be healthy, I have to ensure that my glutes are strong, because with your glutes, they're joined to your lower back, and through that,
Yeah.
pain, I had a lot of lower back pain at the time because of the lack of sleep and the lack of everything else, if that makes sense. So understanding how the body really works, and being asked by a lot of people, like, how have you gone through this? What things are you doing? Because I have, knee pain, I have hip pain, I've had
Yeah.
hip replacement. How can you help me? So those clients coming forward allowed me to be able to see that, oh my goodness, if I've gone through this, the people who are suffering through this, how can I help them? And I started to help people, giving hits and tips and different exercises they could do, such as strengthening your glutes, and really making sure that you are safe. And also people who sit down. So we have a sedentary life at the moment where people are working from home, they are sitting all the time. Your back pain, your becomes
back,
weak.
shoulder, neck. That's my problem all the time.
That took me into working with old people and pregnancy. My thing about pregnancy, I had someone who said to me back then that they were prone to falling. And how I got into this is because I had a client who used to come to my classes when I used to run classes, but she became pregnant. And she said, I'm losing my balance, like I'm prone to falling. Like, what do I do? And it's a joking matter because you think about it, when you're almost heavily pregnant, the fear is if I fall, I may lose this baby. So
yes, it's serious. Yes.
So for me, it was about really having to look at how we work, what we're going to be strengthening, what kind of, like doing squats, for example, one leg stand, getting her balance right and getting her stronger, so that, and also teaching her to recover from, and be a fall or almost falling, and being able to understand how her body works at the same time too.
Yeah.
How is she functioning with my clients? The older clients is, how are you functioning? And especially when, like I mentioned earlier on in our conversation, when you're in your late 30s into your 40s, your body is changing all the time. And for me, I used my own experience of falling over. I think I remember the first day I came back home from my operation, I tried to stand on my one leg, on the operated leg, by the way, not the good one.
That's a bit too.
But I learned very quickly about balance and the importance of balance. My clients who I work with in pre and post pregnancy, it's about how we balance in ourselves, and how to remain pain free, both pre, during, and after pregnancy. How do we? Also, another thing is we take for granted our range of movements, being able to twist and turn, flexible. So pregnant, our hormones allows us to become quite flexible, and that also contributes to us potentially falling. Yes, the hormones. I think the hormones that we have, oxytocin, tends to allow us to stretch, because your body's stretching, preparing for birth, and then you've got to stretch, and you've got to prepare the body. Your hips open up, everything opens up, it becomes more limber, and you forget when you step that you could actually fall over, and trip.
I've never known that. Okay, interesting knowledge for me.
Yep. Extra.
I didn't know there's an extra hormone in that to make you feel flexible when you're pregnant. I didn't know that. Yeah.
For you to be able to give birth, it does, everything starts to kind of, stretch a bit, and so that's what happens with our clients. I had a client who, member of a family, was heavily pregnant, and she unfortunately fell over and she fell down the stairs.
Oh no.
And that's the reality, that's the serious side of it. So for me, what I learned was the flexibility, the balance, and all of these things. And people ask me the question, how have you achieved this from where you were, 3 years ago to this point? What have you done? And on top of that, I was always smiling. So like, how do you keep smiling? Like, what have you done? So I had to share information, and that's what led me into my client group. I guess I fell into it really because I didn't plan on this client group. I originally planned on working, doing high intensity exercise, all the HIIT stuff. But like I said, God always finds a way to point you in the direction He wants you to go.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
True.
Yeah. So, Christiana, as we are reaching our the end very soon,
Yeah, we have 4 more
what-
minutes. Time
yeah,
flies when we're having
yeah,
fun, isn't it?
exactly,
This conversation is
exactly.
so interesting. I seriously have a lot of questions to ask you, actually.
Yeah,
There's like
yeah,
a lot of things I can ask you about. But I mean, we'll leave it for another day. But yes,
yeah.
Divya, throw us our
I
last
have
question.
in my head there's like list of questions, but I think I'll have to catch Christiana on one to one and then clear out all my
Yes,
doubts.
please
But
do.
so, Christiana, as we're, today's topic is about, the power of passion, perseverance, and all of that. So, what is your one advice that you would give to all our viewers today, and even our future viewers that would be watching this episode later on? What is your advice to individuals that are, finally going into fitness, saying that, okay, look, maybe this is going to help me in life? What is the advice that you would give to people who are taking the very first step?
Firstly, get in contact with me and I can help you out.
We're definitely going to share your contact after this in our YouTube channel. If anyone wants to have any consultation, you can definitely get in touch with Christiana through her LinkedIn. Yep.
And I might have some definite goodies coming up in January, so definitely follow me. But my one thing is, it's about endurance. Okay, take your time, be patient with yourself, and remember that they say Rome wasn't built in a day. So really think about it. Give yourself a break, give yourself that time that you need, and ask for help. Really ask for help, but don't be afraid to jump both feet in. Take that. And one thing I want to say as well with regards to some of the client group I work with, so my pregnancy and pre and post pregnancy ladies, is that there are three things that are misconceptions. People get pregnant and they say, oh, well, I can't fly, I can't go on an aeroplane, and so on and so forth. You actually can. Each person is different. Speak to your doctor, GP, OBGYN, or gynecologist,
Yeah.
and
They're guidance.
approval. Some airlines actually allow you to travel up to 34 weeks.
Mm.
So and but more importantly, whilst you are on there, I would say to you, ensure that you are getting regular exercise in terms of walking, getting up and walking around, because we want to avoid blood clots, especially when you're pregnant. The second thing I ask is, am I eating for two? No, you're not eating for two. You literally are.
That's a very Asian mentality, where they say that you are having another person in your
Yeah,
body. You
you
don't
eat
want
for
to
two.
eat.
You are
You
not
need
eating for
to,
one.
yeah,
You're eating for
you need to
two.
feed the other one in the body.
Africans believe the same, but eating for two. I was saying, no, you're not eating for two. When you're pregnant, you literally should be looking at putting surplus calories between 300 to 400 calories maximum, unless you're having multiple babies. Then we're looking at a little bit more, not too much, but that's about, okay, because all the weight you're gaining is from your fluids that the body's carrying, your placenta. People put on weight in different ways, but
Yeah.
pregnancy puts on, you should be at up to 35 pounds.
Mm.
Is a good weight to put on, and that's different things in the body. The third thing I hear is it safe to exercise but whilst I'm pregnant? It is safe to exercise whilst you're pregnant.
I heard a lot of people say you should do yoga. Is it true?
You can do yoga, you can do so many exercises. Again, say it very carefully. In terms of the exercise whilst pregnancy, it all depends. If you're a woman who has been exercised, like myself, for example, if when I fall pregnant, I will not be stopping exercise because it's part of my life. You have to drag me kicking and screaming to stop exercise. That won't happen. So if it's somebody who is used to exercising, then continue exercise from trimester 1 to trimester 2. Take your time, endure, let your build your exercise very slowly. Don't
push it.
Don't push too much, because yes, it's good to exercise, but again, you've got to think of, you're carrying a baby ultimately. So many things go wrong, and seek proper advice and support in exercise if you're not used to doing so, don't have one. Got to get in contact with me too. But exercise, take it slowly, be gentle with yourself, and listen to your body above all. You have got the body. That's my advice when it comes to anyone starting this, anyone thinking about exercising. Listen to your body. It's so important. Keep hydrated all the while. Make sure that you don't copy other people. Please, I'm begging you. I've seen this online. People go online and copy so many things without full understanding of what they're doing. So seek the right advice, and yes, exercise. It's good for you. It's good for the blood circulation in the body. It's good to get you stronger, fitter, and help you sleep better. Which is something I love doing.
True. I mean, definitely from here, I mean, besides the pregnancy part of it, but everything else that I'm taking out from this is definitely to listen to your body and stay hydrated. That's very important. Not only when you're pregnant, I think any time of the day, especially right now in this situation where you're working from home and you're not really moving much. I think it's very important to actually listen to your body and understand what exactly that you need.
And very important as well. Most people look at exercise. I look at your bowel movement. It's so important.
Yeah. True.
That really tells us. It might sound so disgusting, and I'm sorry if it does, but
it's normal, isn't it? It's like it's a human thing, isn't it?
You'll be amazed at how many people don't understand how that works. Again, if you want help with that, I've got a chart from your both basically from your bowel. You just need to understand your body. It's so important. I'll probably do another show about how that works itself.
So please stay tuned to her.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. It's been fun.
But it is very important.
Yeah. So as we are really reaching our end right now, okay.
Thank
So
you.
I think, thank you so much for listening. And I think personally, the three things that I would really take away from this episode with Christiana Johnson is: first, do not copy others when you're stepping into the fitness world. Always listen to your body, and it doesn't always mean you need food when you are hungry. It sometimes can mean you just need some water and stop munching on too much.
So we're ending this now. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah.
Thanks, Christina. Thank you for joining us today. It was amazing. We have learned so many things. And
But anyone you want to catch up and get updated and get consultation from Christiana, please make sure you follow her in LinkedIn. We're going to share her LinkedIn information as well in our YouTube channel after this in the comment section.
If you're also, thank you for that. If you're not on LinkedIn, because I don't think not everybody's on LinkedIn. If you're not on LinkedIn, you can find me via Instagram. So I'm very new to social media world. For almost a decade I've been doing fitness industry. I stepped onto the social media platform this year because of lockdown. So find me on Instagram.
Christiana, please share with us your Instagram account name. Then we will share it inside in the Facebook channel, the YouTube channel after this as well.
Christiana J Fitness.
Okay, Christiana J Fitness.
All right.
Famous and LinkedIn.
Okay, definitely.
Sure.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right.
We shall
Thank
see
you
you
so
guys.
much. We'll see you.
We'll see you in 2021 because this is our last session for this year. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
And
this is all we're wishing
have a
you.
very
I hope
good
that
New Year.
I hope that next year is going to be a better year.
Yes. Or we're more prepared for next year, if at all.
Yes, even better.
Yeah, even better year. So thank you so much. We shall see you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.